For long.
Yeah, over to you again.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm an addict.
Sarah?
Oh, I need to take a breath. Jeez, I feel like I need to take a breath. Oh, yeah. It's nice to actually be in a little bit of a, not bright lights. And I was cold when I came in, but yeah, I think there's something lovely about a meeting, the unspoken love and kind of acceptance that we get here. You kind of start settling in that and you're like, oh yeah, it's all right. Everything's going to be all right. If it's not all right, we'll deal with it. You know what I mean? And that's what we do, don't we, in recovery? I don't know why I picked that topic. I just said to Roz driving over, I kind of half had it in my mind and yeah. But I guess it's like, the foundation of everything I've learned how to do, really. Relationships, they're the fundamental thing that I always struggled with, even as a kid. I'm very much somebody that I go in, I go down. A lot of stuff happens like inside, if that makes sense. Well, you do know what I mean. And and I hibernate and, I have certain friends, recovery friendships that I feel really safe with, and I can talk to certain people and people can, they can check it out where I'm at, if that makes sense, because I'm not one of them, you see, what you see is what you get to a degree, but I wouldn't reveal everything because I'm just not that type of person. It's like I've never been like that, even as a kid, and I have learned to trust in recovery, and that is a beautiful thing. But equally, I still just wouldn't trust people. My barriers go up, and I go, oh, people are too much and too nosy, and like that reading suspicious, and like a little bit of that is always kind of there for me. And I guess the reason for that is I've done a lot of damage. I've been on the receiving end, but I've also, done a lot of damage in my life to people, relationships, all because my inability of not knowing how to love really, or not being able to accept love, and having these kind of weird and wonderful ways that we do, you know what I mean, that we learn to function with and think is normal. But yeah, getting clean and yeah, there was something I wanted to share on that, but my head's kind of, I feel like I'm in a fog. I feel like I don't know where the fog's going. I feel like the light that I get is recovery when I'm in that fog. I'm kind of like just doing thing to thing, but without no big plan, because everything seems like really hazy and I just feel lost. I feel lost, and I just, faced with that reality of like, I don't know, I can't make no sense of it. It's complete nonsense, you know what I mean? And it's just because I'm grieving, and we all know what that's like when we lose somebody that we love. It's just, you can't, like, and you can go to a meeting and you can talk to people and you can share, but ultimately you're on your own. You know what I mean? When you go home and you're in the dark or on the pillow, you can't sleep and you're on your own. And it's like, and it's such a vacuum and it's so heavy and it takes you, I just feel weighed in and completely breathless and like, without sounding dramatic, like what's the fucking point? I do feel a bit like that, I think, what? Because then you've got to try to work out, and you can't work out because, what's life going to be like without that person? And you're like, well, I don't really want to do life without that person because I don't know how to do, and that's what I feel like. And for me, and I know, because I know a lot of you have got a lot of clean time. I've got a lot of respect for your recoveries in this room. You do the do, you walk the walk, and, Oh, hello. So, someone's just popped in. Might be a few NA spirits in the room, but that's all right. We welcome. You think I'm joking? It is, you know. But where was I going that? But yeah, just, and I feel like I'm all right. I'm not going to do anything stupid. It's not like that. It's just, yeah, just hurting is the truth. And, yeah, and we all know, like, Eddie's passed, and I was really close to Eddie. People keep bloody popping off. It's like, they do. It's like every time you go on Facebook or you see someone, it's like someone else. We're losing. I mean, you probably heard it. Someone shared it with me. It's like Sniper Alley. The older we get, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you know, it's true. Yeah. So I'm like, I've got all this emotion. I've got all this, like, everything's inside, and don't really know what to do with it. I guess, you know. Share, go to meetings, be around people. But I find it difficult. I don't want to talk to everyone. I don't want to see everybody. I do appreciate people reaching out, and it's lovely. But like I said, I go in, I go quiet, I go down. It's my process. That's how I deal with things. And yeah, and you know, it's just got to get through it, I guess. And like my son, it's like, Mum, you know, she'll be with you. You know, she'll be with you. And I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. He is right. He is. And, yeah, I guess because I was doing the hospital and I knew how ill she was, I was going up every other day. And I came into the room and Mitchell was with me, and she said, oh, they've told me I've got 6 days. Mitchell burst out crying, and I just sucked it all in, you know, because that's what I do. And I was like, and it was just, and she just kept going, oh, wow. And I can't believe it. And I was like, no, I can't believe it. I was like, what do you want me to do? And she was like, right, you need to ring this person, that person, get my wigs. And then I suddenly just became the go-to person, you know, for all of it. And which you know, obviously it's, of course it's you know, that's a lovely thing in lots of ways, but what it's done is I feel like I've just been on roller skates, you know what I mean? I'm just roller skating everywhere, and then Roz turned up at my house. She knows I don't have anyone around my house. We joke.
10 years to get a cup of tea.
I just don't have that type of life. I don't say, oh yeah, come over to mine. Yeah, I'm just not like that. You know, oh yeah, we have a joke, but I better be careful. She knows I sleep with an hammer next to my bed. I said, everyone's coming in this house, they're going to get it. But I'm sick, like, that's the world I come from. Like, it's true. No, it's all right, I'm not going to... No, but do you know what I mean? It's like, she was laughing in COVID because I was making a joke about Satan, and I pulled out the hammer. She goes, mental health team, pretending to call. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and that's all because of fear, and it's all because I'm scared, and it's all because I think someone's coming to get me, and it's all because of years of paranoia and closing the curtains and not... Like, yes, I'm 16 years clean, but trust me, that there is still an element of stuff that just stays in you. It just does. I don't think it will ever go. You know, I'm always a little bit on my guard, and I'm actually quite glad for that, because I am hypervigilant, and I will read a room and I will read a situation, you know, and I think recovery's given me that ability. But yeah, so I've had to just step back. It's funny, Roz turned up at my house and she was sat on my couch having a cup of tea. And I thought, that's Roz's car. I worked it out in my little brain. And, you know, she went and got fish and chips. She's like, I'm just checking in on you. And I was like, you know, because and then when she went, I just absolutely, like, stopped the ice skating, you know, and I just lost it. I just absolutely lost it, that uncontrollable crying. And I was just like, And do you know what it was? Because she was kind and she was caring, and she, like, I find it really hard when people are like that. But she gave me, her doing that enabled me to get in touch with what I was really trying to, like, run away from. And I guess, you know, seeing, and it was only a couple of weeks before we was at Lucy's funeral. I'm holding her hands because I'm in bits. And I was thinking, like, there was 4 of us that went to New York. She's coming through the other side, please God. Lucy's in the coffin I'm looking at. And I knew Eddie was really unwell. And I was thinking, I don't know how she's going to come back from this. I was thinking that with Eddie because I've had quite a few pass with cancer. So you know what it looks like. And I was thinking, no. It was just like that. And yeah. So it's sad and it's a loss. And the thing is, I didn't come into recovery with loads of family. I came in with loads of behaviours and fucking, you know, nuts as we are. And just like jumping about the fellowship, really. Jumping relationships, men showing me interest. Not, you know, like nothing, everything was scrambled. And you know what I mean? And I didn't know what I wanted, who I wanted, how I didn't have any concept of any of it really, and people got hurt along the way. But if people genuinely meant something to me, they you know what I mean. Like I really was touched by people in recovery, and the way they went out on a limb for me. But where I was trying to go with that is, I came in, I had one son, and that was it, and I'd like been running all my life, and then I got clean and all my stuff was jumping about, and then where I'm going with this, I didn't have like, oh, I'm going to make these lovely bridges to my family and we're all going to skip down the yonder. It's never going to happen, and I always knew that because of like where I come from and how that was going to be. And I went and made my amends. I went and saw my mum. I did all of the stuff that we do in recovery, and that was a beautiful thing, and I was able to kind of be there for her. But for the extent of the damage of where I come from, it's actually more damaging for me to go back and put myself in these circles and put my son in there, you know what I mean? So people became like family to me in recovery. They did, and they are, you know what I mean? So like, it's almost like the family that I've chose and they've chose me, and they've kept me going, really. They've really kept me going, and they've, you know, and those kind of relationships have been able to have them chats with people where, you know, shit goes on, shit goes down, and you've got to like pull each other on your stuff, and you've got to confront it, and you've got to, you know, because we've all got like layers of trauma and fucking all that stuff's in there as well. And I had that relationship with Eddie. I've got that relationship with Roz. I've got, you know, there's a few women that I've got, and my sponsor, you know what I mean? And so yeah, it just feels like there's this massive vacuum, and I just don't fucking like it, is the truth. And I just don't want to, like, as soon as I go to sleep, the first thing I wake up, I think Eddie's gone. Whatever I do, wherever I go, everything, I just think Eddie. That's because she's, like, her spirit is, she's passed, but it's, I guess it's that letting go, you know what I mean? Like, letting go, because they're, and I've had it with other people in recovery that I've loved. And, you know, there is a peace to it as well, though. You do start to find that peace, and I guess, you know, that's life. Like I said, it's nonsense. You can never work it out. You're never going to get to the, oh, why, or what. You know, life can be cruel. It's life. It's the tapestry that we have. We have all these different elements of it. And what I think is beautiful is in recovery, we don't have to go out and smoke crack or fucking take smack, or because we can face our feelings, can't we? We can lay in the fetal position if we have to, sobbing our eyes out. But we'll get up the next day and put a bit of makeup on and go to a meeting, and you know what I mean? Like, that's what we do. And that's really like what I've learned to do in here without recovery, without NA. So relationships, I mean, God, like, I don't really want to go into the men relationships because we could be here for another 2 chairs at least. We ain't going there. But, no, but equally, on that note, I could never be honest. That's the truth. I found it really hard to be honest with myself and honest with other people in relationships. But I've done a lot of work, and like I should really be proud of myself because I have, and I've changed. And that, like reading, like we deal with things with grace. And I thought, yeah, we do. We do learn how to do that because, you know, for me, I have a higher power, and I feel like I get messages and I get little, you know, I'm in tune with it because I live like a spiritual life in recovery. I don't live a religious life. But like the night before Eddie passed, I'd been up the hospital and I thought I won't go tomorrow. I was trying to go every other day. I got home, I woke up at the night, it was 4:00 in the morning, and I had a dream that she'd passed and I was in bits. And I got up and I picked my phone up because I leave my phone in the hall, and I was like, just to see if anyone had messaged or someone said, oh, something's happened. And nothing had happened, so I went back to bed and I laid there and I was thinking, oh, and then I went back to sleep and I had exactly another dream that she'd passed, but not the same, but she'd passed. And that was my premonition. That was like my high power. That was I knew then. When I woke up the second time, I couldn't go back to sleep. And I thought, all right, that was my message, that for me. And I was on my way to the Tuesday meeting because I've got a commitment, and her sister rang me and said, you need to come to the hospital now. And I thought, yeah, I know I do. But like subconsciously, I thought, I know I do because I've had the message. I knew. And it was weird because I was preparing myself, even though you can never prepare yourself. And then we went there and, you know, and she was saying, oh, Sarah, everyone's making such, what'd she say? They're faffing about or something. They're in a tears. And I was like, of course they're in a tears, Eddie. And then I took off her bloody stockings and this mass fucking thing. Her legs were aching and I kept putting cream in her legs. And she was going, more. Like I was getting more cream and I was rubbing it in. And then she was going, more. And I was doing it and I was just like putting it on her hands. And I don't know, just doing whatever I could for her. And I kept saying how much I loved her. And she was saying, I love you guys. And she said, is Roz here? And I said, she's coming. And I kept saying, I love you. But then she was saying, I love you guys, because her son was in the room and Helen was in the room and Jack, one of her sponsees. And then she couldn't say it anymore. Like she couldn't actually physically say what she wanted to say. But I knew what she was saying. I knew she was still trying to tell us that. And then she just said, do the Serenity Prayer. And I thought, and I knew then she was going to be going. That was really pretty much, because then she kind of slipped into really unconscious. She was trying to say, but she couldn't. And point I'm trying to say, it was such a beautiful thing that she wanted the Serenity Prayer. And, you know, and we did that and she just, what I'm trying to say, she had such grace, she had such peace, she had such acceptance. And I thought, wow, I don't know if I would have had that much courage in that situation, you know what I mean? And she said, oh, there's someone beautiful at the end of the street. And I was looking and there was no one there, and I knew, thank you, Roz, and I knew someone, because I've had other friends pass, then someone's come to meet them. That's my belief, you know what I mean? I felt that. Yeah. So I guess the beautiful thing about relationships and people that you love, what a beautiful thing that we come in here that broken, fucked up every single kind of relationship in our lives. And yes, people have hurt us and we've got all that trauma and, you know, but once we get past it's everyone else's fault and we take responsibility, and you see a lot of it is people did the best that they could do with what they had, and it's not all of it's nice, and some people shouldn't, you know, it's just how it is, you know, and you grow and you change, and, you know, that's how I see things now, you know, but we can do the whole thing from start to end. But I could never do an ending, I could never... and I can see things through, and if I say I'm going to do something, it's a really pet hate of mine, because I always let people down in recovery when I was using, and I was always that like, hey, I'm going to do it, and I never did it. And if I say I'm coming to something, I will be there unless something does happen, because it really affects me massively. They're the type of things, if I was to keep doing that stuff, I would end up using, because it goes against the grain of everything that I've now got inside. Does that make sense? You know, like, to be, you know, I'm not saying I'm bloody, you know, there's still some jagged edges, I'm sure, that need knocking out here and there, and a little bit of fucking whatever, but what I'm saying is I'm a good person, and I'm a kind person, and I've got a lot of love for people, and not everybody's cup of tea, and that's all right, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, this is where we've all come completely broken, and, you know, we've kind of found a new way of life, a bridge to normal living for hopeless addicts. And yeah, so relationships, like, I've got my beautiful sons, my relationship with them is just like, you know, I would die for my kids, like, genuinely, in recovery, I would do anything for them. They are everything to me. But family, my family's NA. My family is the people in NA. That's it. That's it for me. So I live by this because it's worked and it is my journey. And but I just don't... But if I go really quiet, there's a little part of me that's just like... I just feel completely fucking heartbroken and devastated, and that's the truth. And it brings up all your other losses and all the people that you loved, and it just feels so unfair. So, yeah. But the joys of recovery is that we get to do this clean. And that's the good stuff, the bad stuff, whatever. Yeah, I felt like I was in some kind of weird fucking movie, you know, like sitting at a funeral, one in the hospital, Roscoe. And actually, the truth of the matter is, you know, I actually thought, oh my God, I was just holding her hand, and she was, and I just felt that gratitude that we hadn't lost. That's the truth, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, it's just all the stuff that comes after it, innit? Like sorting out this and people sorting out that, and what funeral arrangements and endings and closure, and so yeah, it's breathless, I'd say. I feel really like I feel like I haven't got a lot. I haven't got a lot. And I was saying to Eddie, I was like, I just don't know how I'm going to do life without you. You know, Adiva Fits were legendary. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, they were. But I loved her for that, because she was all of herself. You know what I mean? Like, we are in recovery. Yeah. And I guess, you know, like, I don't know why there's always this part of me. I am in a relationship and I am in love, and I just, like, it is really, he's a good man, and, like, it's really nice, and there's no big, like, major red flags or anything, like, kicking off, or, and, like, he's just decorated my spare room, because my eldest son's coming back from Australia for the whole of December, and I was like, he's had a vision. No, we're joking, because he's really good at that. I'm not good at that. You know, like some people look at a room, don't they, just go, I ain't got that. No, nothing computes in the brain at all. I think, maybe a bit of grey. Like, I don't know. And he's like, a bit of this and a bit of green and a bit of elephant on the wallpaper. I'm like, how did you do that? Like, it's a gift, isn't it? How people can put... And he's done this room, and I'll be honest, it looks the best room in the house. I ain't gonna lie. It really is the best room in the house. And he was like, no, I'm just doing it to take the pressure off of you, because your son's coming home and da-da-da. And I was like, well, it's like, I'm just going to do that for you. And I'm like, wow. Do you know, it's like so loving and so kind and so... Yeah, so, yeah, that's a really nice thing to happen. And I'm really grateful that I'm in something that's good for me, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's taken fucking 300 years to get there. No. Yeah, life's funny, isn't it? You know? Life is funny. And I don't know what the plans are. I've given up trying to, you know what I mean? Like, I do plan a week generally. At the moment, I haven't been making no plans at all. Just getting up and doing day by day. That's it. But yeah, I think as well, like learning to be vulnerable and intimate with people, and actually telling people, you know, like when you see outpourings on Facebook and, you know, all of this when people pass, like, it's beautiful, it really is, but I think if anything I learn, the more is tell people why you can. Tell them why they're here. Don't stop trying to change everybody, like wasting your fucking energy. Do you know what I mean? Let people be who they are. Like, I know that's easier said than done, and some days I'll be like, but, you know, tell them what they mean to you, and tell them how they make you feel, and why... You know, it's like everything happens when people go. Why can't we find that voice when they're here and just... That's kind of what I felt. But I mean, I people that are close to me, they do know I love them, and I genuinely do love them with all my heart. That must be my time, surely.
It's my favourite.
But yeah, so relationships, learning to manage relationships, learning to be authentic. And do you know what? And I can honestly say that it did, and I know you lot will all get it, because it's lovely when people like you, but if they don't, it really ain't the big... It ain't, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, really, genuinely, the ones that matter, and, you know... And for years, like, I know we've all come in, low self-esteem, and, oh, why doesn't that one like me? I really ain't got the fucking energy. I really don't care. And spiritually, hamdulillah, hula, hula, halala, whatever it is, enjoy your life, because I will be sleeping in mine, not... Alhamdulillah, la la la, whatever it is. Sorry, that could be taken as... No, but I mean it. Like, just do your thing. I'm not going to be laying in bed going, oh my God, that... But, like, really, I haven't got the smidgens for it anymore. But I am in a bit of a raw place, so maybe... I have got some smidgens. Anyway... On that note, my saliva pods have dried up, so I think I'll leave it.
Oh, thanks,